He backed out of the trap, gave me a murderous look and ran. It was summer when this happened. The following night, my husband and I heard growling. Mr. was on the other side of our screen door, letting us know how much he hated us for taking his cathood away. In the coming weeks, when we came upon Mr., he wouldn't run from us. He would stalk away after giving us the evil eye. But finally, how can I get closer and live with him? Please listen to the story Animals My Love would like to send everyone now. About 8 years ago, I was walking my Doberman and Greyhound down the alley when I looked up and saw a young, rather large grey cat looking down on us from a tall block wall. His look was disdainful, I think because he didn't like the dogs. I thought he was extraordinarily handsome and that he was probably someone's pet. It turned out that he was on his own. This is a city neighborhood full of speeding cars, and also one where coyotes roam around at night. He survived both of these dangers and became the dominant male cat of the neighborhood, making lots of Mr. Kittens. He fed himself during this time. He is a big and rather lethal hunter. Mostly he ate rodents. I know he loves the taste of rats. One day, he tried to bring down a crow that was rooting around my garden in the front yard. He missed and got scolded by the murder of crows for his trouble while he sat under the tree licking his paw. He looked like a rubber band, he was so skinny. He also scavenged. I know he raided houses when he could gain access and would eat anything that would give him calories to burn. I had a dog door and sometimes would find him inside my house, snacking on kibble I left out for my female cat. He would scurry out of the house as fast as he could when he was discovered. My female cat was spayed, but Mr. still wanted to have his way with her. Since he was more than twice her size, he almost managed it a couple of times, and she absolutely hated him for it. They became sworn enemies. One early morning, my cat hopped up on the bed and was growling. I thought possibly at the dog who was in the bed beside me, but she did not like that dog very much either. I was pretty much asleep and was murmuring at her to cut it out. All of a sudden, a cat fight exploded on top of me. Mr. had made his way inside and attacked. They were screaming. I was screaming. Even the dog was screaming. Mr. ran off when I managed to switch on the bedside light. This was the climax of a 3-year war between my cat and Mr. I decided it was time to take away his reason for fighting, sex. My neighbor lent me a live trap, and I baited it with cat kibble and set it up in my backyard. The next morning a possum was inside it. He opened his big toothy mouth and hissed at me. I very gingerly opened the trap and let it go. The next morning I had to let the possum go again. And the next. So that night I unblocked the dog door, and set up the trap. Inside the garage. Mr. was in the trap the next morning. I drove him to the vet, who neutered him and gave him all of his shots. 3 hours later, I let him go. He backed out of the trap, gave me a murderous look and ran. It was summer when this happened. The following night, my husband and I heard growling. Mr. was on the other side of our screen door, letting us know how much he hated us for taking his cathood away. In the coming weeks, when we came upon Mr., he would not run from us. He would stalk away after giving us the evil eye. But whenever I could, I would sit as near Mr. as he would allow and talk to him. He continued to give me contemptuous looks, but he would stay for a while before walking away. We started to feed him. We started to feed him on a small table that we set up in the garage. He stopped looking like a rubber band and fattened up nicely. One day in August, over 3 years ago now, all of my sweet talk finally paid off. He walked up to me and rubbed his body against my leg. I felt like a lion tamer, as he is so large. Since then, He has made up for lost time and has become the most affectionate animal I have ever known. He likes naps and sleeps with me almost every night. I love this cat with all my heart. It took many years for us to become a family and was worth all of the time and effort. So, if you enjoyed this story, please share it with your friends and support us by hitting the subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. Goodbye and see you soon.